Welcome back to my weekly update. I actually did a video a couple days ago, but it didn't upload for God knows what reason, and I'm remaking the video and probably gonna be better than previous ones anyway. So we are back in sunny England at the moment. Lucky today that there are a couple hours of sun. And this week is interesting. So last week I've been consistently over 120 kilos every single morning on waking up, which I have been at that body weight before. Looked absolute mess. Definitely were no veins on my body, no nothing. And at the moment I'm 120 kilos with a six pack, which is quite interesting. At the same time, that body weight is not comfortable at all. I'm struggling to sleep. I'm struggling to walk. I'm struggling to just do day-to-day basic activities because it's just not comfortable to be this heavy. And this is the thing, so I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it just because I work with a lot of huge guys, 130, 150, 170, 200 kilo body weight. And every single one of them, I would not be able to relate to them if I would never experience how the hell does it actually feel to be this big and walk around like that. Give an example. So sleep at the moment is non-existent. I always sleep very few hours, 4 or 5 hours a night. But that has never been an issue because I always had enough REM sleep and deep sleep. At the moment, I don't have that luxury anymore. So I'm having to resort to short naps in the daytime. So one day I literally fell asleep for like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm lucky that I can do that. But if you're somebody who works 9 to 5 jobs and it has to be in office and whatnot, that's obviously not going to work well for you. So reason for that being is hard to literally breathing is hard. Every single time I take a really deep breath, I can pop my back. That's how different my body feels at the moment. Like if I just breathe in, there is so much tissue surrounding my skeletal structure that all the joints just feel weird. And this is another reason why when you're training in a gym and your friend tells you how to do a specific exercise, not taking into account your biomechanics, it's just never going to work. That was the biggest lesson that I learned when I spent my time with grandma in Holland. We were 2-3 guys always doing the same stuff, and every single one of us would do same exact thing, completely different based on the length of our limbs, torso, so on and so forth. And I also was obviously one of the fitter guys because I like to do my cardio, I like to do my walking, I like to do everything, so I keep my training sessions fast-paced. Whereas someone else, there was instances where someone would do pec deck and dumbbell flies and nearly throwing up because their fitness levels are just not matching my expectations. So yeah, this week has been interesting just to try to maintain that body weight, which obviously with lack of sleep is a bit challenging. And this brings me back to another conversation I had with one of my friends. It was like, how the hell do you build a tissue if you don't sleep? Because apparently that's the most important part. No, the most important part for building the tissue is actual training. It's like a skill. Like the art of building a tissue is stimulating your body to want to build the tissue. It's like if you are learning how to play a basketball, it's not how many hours you're sleeping after your training session, it's how many good training sessions of the skill you had. Same applies to growth of muscle. Number 2 is your nutrition. So if you train really hard and you haven't eaten enough, you're not going to build anything. You cannot build house with best workers out there who have no bricks, no tools, no nothing. So your nutrition are the tools necessary to build that house. So if I sleep really good but don't eat well and don't train hard, nothing's going to be built. So I need to train hard, eat really good, and only then sleep comes into play. So bear in mind, when I was in Holland, I slept barely at all because I had to do everything. I would wake up really early, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, do my first training session, then eat, do my second training sessions, and go home, cook. Every single day I would have to cook because to eat the amount of food I'm eating, which is between 6 to 10 to 12 kilos of food a day, every goddamn day, it takes a lot of cooking and a lot of time to get that food prepared. So all that being said and done, the food comes after hard training. And this is why I have always also looked in a specific way. When I just started training, I had no knowledge about anything. all I had was the luck to be surrounded by guys who were extremely good at everything they did. So my direct training partner was one of the best powerlifters in Europe champion and record holder in bench press, deadlifts, and things like that. So being surrounded with those guys, you don't have any other option but to train really hard. And because I did not eat enough for the amount of training I put in, I was always looking more of like a bodybuilder type rather than powerlifter, because I just had no financial means to overeat. And bear in mind, I come from a country where there are no takeaways. You can't overeat even if you wanted to, because you need to cook for yourself. And to overeat highly nutritious foods, which was only things that was available for me, it's extremely hard, especially because I was training 2-3 times a day, every single day without a miss. And then walking, I was not living anywhere near gym or anywhere near school, so I would have to go 5K, 5 kilometers there, 5 kilometers back. I would walk around 20 to 30 kilometers every single day. And then training on top of that, 2-3 training sessions a day. Do your track and field, do some PE lessons, 2 hours of PE lessons in the mornings, and track and field in the afternoon, then weightlifting after that, and then hang around with your friends, go for a swim. You just had no chance to be fat. So whereas now we have all the luxury, all the knowledge, all the supplements, all the food and whatnot, but people are just getting unhealthy. And this brings me to another thing that so many people talk about, like, are you not going to overtrain? You're doing too much. Why are you training every single day? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm still training most of the days, twice a day. I do conditioning day in the morning. I do 20 to 60 minutes of full body workout where I don't use much of a load, but I do use a lot of movement through full range of motion and whatnot. So it will be some RDLs, some lunges, some throws, some kicks, some jumps, all those kind of things. And then at night I'll come and do a weight training session. And people go like, hey, but you're not gonna grow. And I'm like, dude, I'm 120 kilos. How much bigger do you think I need to get? And how delusional you must be to think that what I do is not gonna work because you are not doing it. Try it out and then see for yourself. It's obviously not that easy, but if you never do it, you never know. And the biggest thing for the moment is that my resting heart rate has gone up by, 20 points? I used to have resting heart rate at 54 beats per minute, not from Oura Ring. My Oura Ring was showing 30 something. Bear in mind, 30 beats per minute, that's astronauts. That's the most elite fit people on the planet. If your Oura Ring shows that you are in less than 50 beats per minute, you just don't trust it. It's just bullshit. So I only measure my blood pressure and resting heart rate on my blood pressure monitor. At the moment, it's at 76, 74 beats per minute, which I feel like, the way I feel it is I feel lethargic. I don't recover as quick, and so on and so forth. So that's why I keep my conditioning days still. And because I monitor this every single week, so when I went to see Grandma in July, my resting heart rate was 54 beats per minute. I gained all this weight very quick. Now it's at 74. I want to bring it down to low 60s. If I can get it below 60, I know I'm going to feel great again. I'll have energy to just go all day without an issue. So rounding all that up, week has been great. It is tedious, it is boring, but I'm just sticking to the same exact basics every single day. The breakfast is the same, and then a couple meals in between that is the same. Post-workout meal, the breakfast and post-workout meal is always the same exact thing, because I want to make sure that I wake up and I get fueled immediately, and then after training I get refueled immediately as well. And then everything else in between, whatever, I mix and match that. And another thing is that at the moment I am forcing me to be this way, so it's forced adaptation. That means I do need to overeat way more calories than my body weight would require just to exist. It's like with anything that you do, you learn a new skill, you learn new language, you learn whatever the hell there is. It takes a lot of pressure physically and mentally for you to acquire that. And then once you get there, it's just automated response and you don't even think about it anymore. So at the moment, I need to have over 6,000 calories every single day just to maintain my body weight. So just to be at 120 kilos, it's literally, if I eat less than 6,000 calories a day, my body starts to drop down body weight. And I calculated per hour of my existence, I burn around 260 grams of body weight. So I can literally lose 5 kilos a day, easy, by just not eating. So Another thing I put together that I find is extremely interesting is that I have been gaining 50 grams of body weight since I started training. So it's around 200 grams of body weight per month. So obviously people just see these spurts of me gaining a lot of weight, and then they don't see anything for a year or two, and then again, and so on and so forth. So this same thing happened in Holland. I went there for first week, for first 7 days, I gained 5 kilos in 5 days, 7 days, something like that. And then for a week or two, nothing happened. And then I gained another 4 kilos. And then for a couple of weeks, nothing happened. And then another 4 kilos until I got to 13, 15 kilos within 7 weeks. So same exact thing happened when I came back to UK. I was around 118 kilos. I was just stuck there for a few weeks. And then it just jumped 120, 121. And now it's stuck there. I know it's going to take me 2, 3, 4 weeks until I jump to 123, let's say, and so on and so forth. If I really keep pushing this forward, I know I can fill out my frame to probably 130 kilos easy. Not sure if I'm going to do that because, like I said, it's beginning to be hard to even exist. I probably will have to resort to everything that the obese guys do, that CPAP and sleep in his oxygen mask, which I don't really want to do. But there is either CPAP, getting fitter, or losing body weight. So losing body weight is not going to happen. I will work on getting fitter at this body weight to see if I can prevent my inability to sleep properly with that. And if everything fails, then I'll just be going into full Darth Vader mode and just sleep with CPAP. But yeah, nothing exclusive. I don't do anything crazy at the moment. You know, the delusions that people think that to grow this big you need gobs and gobs of drugs, insulins, peptides, whatever, you name it. It's just delusion. You need consistency. That's all you need. You cannot put consistency in a pill. It's just not going to happen. And that's what everyone is missing. They are missing that doing the hard shit, the boring and most important stuff. That's what everyone is missing. And until you actually do that for good 2, 3, 4, 6 months to actually understand if it works or doesn't work for you, you'll never know. So that being said, I appreciate everyone who's sending me like questions and comments, and it keeps these videos actually going and hopefully useful for you. So if you have any comments or any questions or anything you want me to cover next time, leave a comment below or drop me a DM and I'll cover it next week. So that being said, I'll speak to you soon.